a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Deus Ex Media.
Welcome to the Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Charlie.
And Robert. And hey, Charlie,
Hey, Robert.
what if you and I were to float in space in a bubble?
As long as we are 6 feet apart.
Oh, so that we don't make it gay?
Yeah.
Charlie, you want to you wouldn't want to be gay with me in a bubble in space?
No, I think that would make Mac mad.
True. Perhaps can we invite a third into this bubble?
I mean, is there more 6 feet of space? Or is it 5 feet?
There isn't. So unfortunately, it's going to become very gay because that's double entendre, I guess. Because we have
it's
Josh.
not
Josh
gay
is back.
if it's
Hello,
in a
Josh.
three-way.
Hello. Yes, it'll be very gay because me, first of all. But yes. And also we were talking about heated rivalry, but right before we got on. So I feel like
as God intended.
yes.
But you know what? We can have this not gay three-way in a bubble by watching Bubbled, which is the last episode of season 3 of Steven Universe, which premiered August 10th, 2016.
Wild.
Before we proceed with our not gay three-way, Josh, would you like to remind everyone who you are, what you do, be a cool cat, throw your pronouns in?
Yeah. Well, my name is Josh. You can use he, him for me, but I don't care what you use, really. Don't get offended on that. Who am I? I am from Super Scary Podcast here on the Deus Ex Media Network, and I do horror movies on my podcast. So if you like horror, come listen to me. And I come here a lot because I love Steven Universe. So
And we need that gay energy.
yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of episodes that are just terrifying in this show.
Yes, very much.
The amount of times during season 3 that we were like, oh, this is actually terrifying. We should have invited Josh on.
I think that's just the entire show. I think that's just like, you know what? Josh should have just been our third for this podcast.
It sounds like you just want me as a third, and the answer is yes.
Oh my.
Like I said, it's not gay if it's in a three-way.
It's not gay if it's in a three-way. It's also not gay if you wear socks. It's also not gay. What are the other like meme stereotypes? It's not gay if you don't look each other in the eye.
I never look you in the eye, Robert. I'm too autistic.
Oh my god. But before we proceed onwards with this not gay three-way, Charlie, did the postman bring us any post?
Hey, Mr. Postman, bring me a post. Bring me the post I love the most.
We got 2 more emails, ladies, gents, and those who couldn't be bothered.
Is that my new title? I just can't be bothered with?
Ask me my gender. I couldn't be bothered. Yeah. So we have, again, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to take my best crack at it. If I mispronounce it, please write back in and tell us how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I would like to take this time to say, if you're going to email us, if you don't want your email read on the pod, please tell us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, please let us know your pronouns and how to pronounce your name. Because that's just super helpful.
What happens if I just take this name and I put it into...
I think I tried to Google it a while ago. It's a Korean name.
All right, so Google says the best way to pronounce his name is In Hye Chung.
Okay.
Which is what I'm going with, sorry. If it's wrong, please educate me. Who says, I wanted to talk about the connection between the Fiona Cake episode, The Witcher King, and Steven Universe, specifically the Diamond Authority dynamics. Have any of us seen Fiona and Cake?
I haven't seen Adventure Time, so, and that could eventually be a bonus show project for us to just watch some Adventure Time.
No, that's just the next that's just the next podcast we make after this.
Making Charlie watch Adventure Time for the first time in the year of our Lord, I don't know, 2028, whenever this ends.
Josh, have you seen Fiona and Cake and or Adventure Time?
I have not, but isn't Fiona and Cake like aren't they like women? Or
Yes.
identify as women, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
they
the
are
gender
the, like,
bent.
The gender bent. Yeah, that's the
Finn
phrase I was looking
and
for.
Jake.
And instead of Finn the human and Jake the dog, it's Fiona the human and Cake the cat.
Oh, I love that.
So between the Fiona and Cake episode, The Winter King, and Steven Universe, specifically the Diamond Authority dynamics, while watching The Winter King, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was looking at another reflection of White Diamond and Pink Diamond. The projection. The Winter King projects his madness onto Princess Bubblegum, Candy Queen, to maintain his own sanity and charm. This perfectly mirrors how White Diamond projects her impurities onto others, whether it was Pink Diamond, off colors, or even small gems forced to use limb enhancers, just to remain perfect. It's a textbook example of shame dumping. The visual clues. The connections feel very intentional, especially in the Candy Queen's room. Did you notice the vanity table? It's distinct from the one Princess Bubblegum actually uses. Plus, there's a small candy citizen making something that looks strikingly similar to the pebbles in Pink Diamond's room. If the Winter King is White Diamond, the oppressor who stays clean, then the Candy Queen is Pink Diamond, the one who carries all the emotional chaos and the burden. My question for you is, why do you think the creators decided to revisit the specific dynamic? It feels like they are deconstructing the themes of Steven Universe again through a much darker lens. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why they brought these specific plot holes and visual callbacks.
I mean,
so I can't answer that because I've never watched Fiona and Cake.
I was gonna say, I know Rebecca Sugar works on like a lot of the Adventure Time and spin-off stuff. So I would say it's probably due to their influence on the show and like, hey, this is another medium, this is a theme that I like to do in my work. Because, you know, writers do that all the time when they just use similar theming in different works. Like, hey, I have a way to tell a similar story, but in a different way, okay? Like, I think that might just be like Rebecca Sugar's niche of like something that they like to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably your trademark, to be honest, or one of them anyway.
And like, let's not forget that Steven Universe was like canceled. Technically, they didn't get to do the full arc that they wanted at the end. They had to like really rush season 5, and then they got the movie, and then they got the short spin-off of Future. So like, this could also be revisiting it because didn't get to flesh it out in Steven. So this is me just saying from I haven't seen this, but that's how I would take it from a writer standpoint.
I would agree with that.
And our second email comes from Kit. Is this is someone in the Seaweed Brain Discord, right? Yes.
Yes, maybe.
I believe so.
Yes, it is.
They say, a crossover episode. Hello! By the time the episode when you read this email comes out, Percy Jackson season 2 will be over. It's not yet, actually. Fun fact. But, you know, one more week. But I don't care. We're going to keep the insanity going for a little longer. So in that spirit, Robert and Charlie, which Steven Universe and Percy Jackson book or show characters would you put in a group therapy together, and for what? For example, Percy and Steven should go to therapy together for being main characters who never wanted any of it. Actually, Percy and Steven have a lot of trauma in common, but that's another essay. I've been thinking about this a lot. Don't ask why, because I generally have no idea. And I'm so curious to hear your ideas. Maybe in a future email, I'll send a list of all the therapy pairings I've thought of, if you're curious. I mean, Pearl and Nico?
Pearlico.
Pearl and Nico need to have some therapy about, you know, the not necessarily lost love in the case of Nico, just in the case of like unrequited love therapy and like, yeah. Although there's definitely differences going on there, obviously, and they also both lost somebody very important to them as well. The whole Bianca thing, comparing to Rose. Robert, do you have any thoughts? Feelings, opinions. I know, Josh, you're
Feelings.
just like, who are these people?
Yeah, I need to dive into Percy Jackson. I just haven't quite
Josh?
gotten there yet.
Josh, you know what I think would be so amazing is if you watched the show first and then came on OTAG.
Yeah, that's my
And that
only
was-
frame of reference is the
and that
TV
was
show.
like, and that was like your experience of like, oh, so I watched the show. What are the books like?
Yeah. I watched the show. Let me come on for a random chapter that I have no idea what's going on. Drop me in the middle of the world.
I don't think about anybody else. Why is my brain blanking on Percy Jackson characters right now?
You're in Steven Universe mode.
I am in Steven
Sim-
Universe mode, and I'm just like, okay, that's a gem. No, that's another gem. You know what? No. My thoughts are head empty at this point, actually. Okay, I'm gonna read the rest of the email. In other entirely irrelevant news, Charlie, thank you so much for thinking of Seasons Reasons. You're welcome. From the subject line of my last email, because I was so close to actually writing that, I decided to try and be normal, so I changed it to Seasons Greetings, but it brought me immense joy that you still got the reference. And also, thank you for Mom Laura Roberts. Happy New Year and May 2026 bring you great joy. Best wishes, Kit. P.S. I just realized this is my third email, so I guess I can't send another after all. I've maxed out my rule of 3.
Oh,
no,
no.
you haven't. More emails.
You
Or
just
I
start
will
another. You just start another 3. You know, just send them in trilogies.
Remember, I will cry on this podcast if we don't get emails. Okay, let's talk about this bubbly episode. So I was trying to think about what the thing is when an episode takes place in one space for a majority of the episode, and I was like, is that a bubble episode? Did they do that on purpose? And I'm like, no, it's a bottle episode. So close. Because that's what this is. This is kind of a bottle episode.
Yeah. In the scariest, worst kind of way. Because the episode begins with Steven waking up in the middle of space. He's in his bubble, right? He's just in space, floating
When
away.
did he make the bubble? How did he make the bubble?
I think it was a subconscious thing that just happened immediately.
So we're picturing the pink Steven side of him just doing that
Oh,
without
100%.
human
Yeah.
Steven asking.
Yeah.
Are
Immediately.
I was gonna say, are y'all terrified of space and the crushing void of space and the amount of gravity there is not? Because I am.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, this made me think of the various like space movies that I've watched, which I do enjoy watching, but like Interstellar and like I think Gravity was the Sandra Bullock one where they're
Yeah.
just kind of like stuck in space. They have no way to get out. And then they just kind of go delirious, I think, in both of those movies, actually. So it's kind of like, what do? You're just in a void. You have no food or water supply. You're just in this case, you're just in a bubble.
Yeah, I have such questions about that.
I just want to know how he's breathing.
Okay, I have a theory. Based on the events of this episode, I think it's not that the bubble is airtight, it's that the bubble creates its own air for Steven to breathe. Because he literally takes the bubble down, and he should not be able to breathe once he puts it back up. Like, because there wouldn't be no oxygen. It would have dissipated, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm not a scientist.
A while ago,
but-
he would have, if it remained enclosed, he would have eventually used up all of his oxygen, and it would just be a bubble full of carbon dioxide, and he would
Yeah.
pass out and die.
Right.
So I think this bubble just creates oxygen. Not enough, but it does create some. Somehow. I mean, I'm always questioning why, like, the diamond base on the moon even has oxygen for Steven to breathe anyway.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no humans there. It's not Earth. And that even begs the question of, like,
They put something in the spaceship. Like
that begs the question of,
like an extra attachment or something.
There's also Jungle Moon, where they're just able to breathe. There's also Homeworld, where they're just able to breathe. And on all of these things, I'm just like, guys, this is space. Why do all these planets have oxygen? But I get it, it's a cartoon. Whatever.
Well, it's kind of like that with Star Wars too, right? Like they have certain points where specifically in the later, like the more recent trilogy that came out, where it's just like there's no rules in space. There's conflicting things that are happening. Some people can
Yeah.
breathe in space, some people cannot. I don't know. It's weird. Space is weird.
Space.
Because I get it if it's like a planet, not colonized planet, but just like a planet of people who have to breathe oxygen to survive. The gems
Mm.
do not. Clearly, they do not need
Yeah.
oxygen. So why do their gem places have it, and Steven can survive there? But that's not what this podcast is about.
No.
Josh, I think I interrupted you like 5 minutes ago when I went on this rant.
Oh, I think I finished what I was saying. I don't think I had much of a point either, so
All right, amazing. Steven is floating and not dying, and he sees all of the rubies. They're all just floating as well, and then he bumps into Eyeball.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, talk about a coincidence. I need to tell you right now, even if you launch from virtually the same point, space is so full of nothing that the idea of if you in a straight line, statistically, you won't hit anything.
right.
It is so full of nothing. Space is mostly nothing.
Well, this is what we call a coincidence, Robert.
This is what we call Steven's the main character, and he needs to engage with other characters. Has there ever been an episode where it's just Steven alone?
No, but we do
No.
have Jungle Moon where it's just Avani alone.
True.
So like that is a singular character episode
Yes.
for the most part.
Yes.
So yeah, Eyeball is obviously mad because like you did this to us. You opened the fucking airlock. Why'd
Yeah.
you do that?
I love how Steven initially is like, no, you guys were trying to like kill us again. You were gonna get out of your spaceship, and she's like, yeah, but you're the dingus who opened the airlock. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Fair point.
Okay, but if he hadn't opened the airlock, what do we think would have happened?
Death.
Uh,
More death.
Like we do immediately get a fusion, and it's Sardonyx. So I would imagine it's Sardonyx versus Mega Ruby, and somehow Steven still ends up in space because like they destroy something in the diamond base, and like a wall comes crashing down, and Steven goes flying, and he still ends up in a bubble. I'm imagining that's still happening somehow
Right.
because it's not great, guys.
I love how they have a moment of like, oh, well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna sit here in silence until we both die. Fine by me. As they're just drifting through space.
I love them both like with their arms crossed and their little pouty faces like,
Steven, you know you're gonna die first, right? She is a light being. You are part human.
I was gonna say Eyeball Ruby cannot die because like unless gems are shattered, they are immortal. Is that not true? I think that's basically true.
Everyone's immortal.
Pearl's been around for like 7,000 years. So
Everyone's immortal until they're not.
same. The best gag in the episode, I think, is here where Steven pulls out his phone and he's like, "What? No signal? I'm right by a freaking thing.
Satellite.
A satellite.
He's right by a satellite.
He's right by the satellite, and he's like, if I don't die here, I need to change my phone plan."
Which honestly, fair enough. This is I don't know if what phone providers you guys have, but this is being recorded the day after there was like a massive outage for Verizon, which is my phone provider.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm also on that. Still on my
Yeah.
parents' plan.
Not a fun time.
I have AT&T, so I wasn't affected, but I heard from my
La-di-da.
coworkers. Yeah, look at me, Mr. Daddy Warbucks over here.
I had to drive home at night for like I was driving home from work and I never can remember the routes / I'm forgetful and it's dark and I'm like, okay, let's see if I can remember this. Did I take that turn? I don't remember where I am right now. All this road looks exactly the freaking same at this point because it is so fucking dark. And then I'm like, no, wait, I see that sign. I know where I am now. I did make that turn. Cool. I'm not lost. I was like, I went to that Panera last week. I know where I am. Still terrifying.
Very terrifying. What are we up to?
Ruby starts complaining about the planet once again and how like the
Ruby's
crystal gems suck and whatever. Like
they suck, but also she's doing like big brain moments where she's like, the crystal gem. We wouldn't have come back if it weren't for the rumors that the crystal gems were maybe alive, and rose quartz too. Like, that's 1,000 years of fighting for nothing if she's still alive.
like
And
why else would Jasper have come back?
yeah, and like that's solid reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
That's very solid reasoning. And so Steven's like, well, if you're only here for rose quartz, you're in luck. And she's like, oh yeah, how so? And he's like, well, I know where rose quartz is. She turned into me.
Dun dun dun.
Oh my goodness. But you're not rose quartz. Look, I have her gem. That's not a rose quartz, Pink. It's like that's more like this thing, and like,
It's more of like a lighter pink, and the joke is that she's looking at it through Steven's pink bubble, which is making it look more pink.
But also there were theories because, of course, that it's because that's pink diamond and not a rose quartz. So she's not gonna look like a rose quartz gem anyway.
I love the color humor because it reminds me of Archer. If y'all have ever watched that, where he's like, I have a slightly darker black turtleneck for like whenever he's like on covert operations. So he has like basically the exact same looking turtlenecks, but one's just a slightly darker black.
Amazing. Yeah. So Steven also shows the shield. And Ruby's like, excuse me, I only remember the sword. The sword is important because that's what shattered the pink diamond. So, and Steven's like, I don't have it. Here's a picture of, actually, no, he didn't. I always think that he shows a picture of the sword, which he should. He should be like, I have the sword. It's right here. But instead he shows a picture of Rose because he has one of those on his phone. And he does the face, like...
It's uncanny. It's uncanny how close the face was. It was ridiculous.
I mean that's the whole point. But Ruby is like, no, that's not rose quartz. You're not rose quartz. You're mean. You're making fun of me. And then we're in the asteroid field ? There's a bunch of rocks coming at them, which is not good for a gem who's not in a bubble.
No.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she survives through the asteroid field after like literally colliding between a potentially hard bubble ? I don't really know what the bubble's material is like. But...
There are so many questions about the bubble because it also appears to have its own gravitational pull.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of questions about the bubble, but yeah, no, Ruby successfully. Oh, you guys remember that game show that was like Hole in the Wall where you have to position yourselves?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
As a wall's coming towards you have to position yourself to match up with the hole in the wall. That's sort of what she's doing, and she did very well until she like lets her guard down and a asteroid just smashes her in the fucking face and cracks her gem.
Did y'all not love the O where they were like, oh my god, we're gonna go right into it? Oh, it's a circle. Oh, it's like an O. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with that.
Everything's like an O.
But I think the bubble is like it's like a membrane of sorts. Like it can be hard if it needs to be, but for the most part it is like soft and squishy, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something going on there that's not. There are science terms that I could use here that I do not know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
Eyeball dying, eyeball going down, and Steven decides to literally like uses his hands to go like I'm gonna grab for her motion, and the bubble extends and pulls her in.
Okay, Steven, so if you knew that would work, why didn't you let her like in? I feel like there's a way where he could have had two separate bubbles going with a very tiny narrow tube in between that she can't get through.
Oh yeah.
That could have worked.
How logical would that logic be? Who's to say?
I mean, listen. Go ahead.
I think you are right, Robert, that there is some sort of gravitational pull to it, because how is Eyeball attached to the bubble outside of it?
She's attached to it, and when she was doing her fucking hole in the wall dodging shenanigans, she was jumping on the bubble.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something going on with this bubble. So Steven's like, hey, come on, I can heal you, because she's going berserk. You know, we've seen this happen before with Amethyst when she cracked. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do the spit thing. She's like, what the fuck is that? What the actual fuck? Dude, what was that? Why did they have to animate it like this?
Yeah, the slow. It's like, oh no.
Speaking of animation, when like she's in the bubble and she's, you know, not doing so well TM, there's a moment where her form gets so fucked up that her like arms and legs shrink into themselves and she becomes like almost like a little chibi version of herself.
Oh,
Yeah, that was very cute.
I like that too.
So she is healed, and that's when Ruby Eyeball is like, oh my god, I can't believe it. There were rumors the Rose Quartz could heal her soldiers, and that's how such a small army of crystal gems could compete with the rest of the gem armies. So it really is Rose Quartz. What? And then she starts laughing.
Yeah, laughing maniacally, which means, oh, I, a simple Ruby, will be the one to take out Rose Quartz. She starts chasing Steven in the bubble, holding her weapon, which is like a knife.
What you got there? What you got there, Eyeball?
A knife.
No.
There's that funny little, again, almost like chibi style animation where because Steven made the bubble bigger, they have more room to run around in. And so they're just running in like a loop for a 5-second loop. Like the inner diameter, the inner circumference of that bubble, they're just running around it. And I'm like, at any point, Ruby could just stop in her tracks and Steven would just literally walk into her.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love cartoon gags like this. Beautiful, wonderful, amazing.
It's giving Scooby-Doo. I live.
Absolutely. And like the fact that Steven's like, wait, why do you want to kill me? What? No, you shattered a diamond. It's like, well, what you want to do right now is shatter a diamond. So
but she doesn't know that.
I know. It's just it's so funny when you think about it. I do also love that she's just got a knife that comes out of her eye. It's just funny to watch how that works.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Why did Steven tell Eyeball in the first place that he's Rose Quartz?
Because he's Steven and he's like, oh, I gotta be nice boy Steven who helps out everyone possible.
Oh, I guess so.
He wants to be nice. He wants to make friends. I don't know how that would make a friend, but he's like, I want to do something that'll make her happy. This will make her happy. She's having such a terrible day.
By my doing. Let me make it better.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't exactly think ahead necessarily, but this is when he decides to throw her out of the bubble. He dissipates the bubble, holds his breath, and then makes it again. And he's gasping for air, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not how air works, but okay. And then he holds himself, the bubble becomes smaller, and he looks so sad.
Oh. Quick, somebody play Girl in the Bubble by Ariana Grande from the Wicked soundtrack. Thank you so much.
And then Steven Savior arrives in the form of a ruby ship.
Which somehow, someway they figured out how to drive. Are we going to question that? No, not really.
Also, are we going to question how they have a Find My Steven app? Is that something that's addressed? Like, do they have a homing beacon?
Future vision.
Oh yeah, future vision. That would make sense.
Like, at first I was like,
that's true.
He is right by a satellite. No, that's not really how that works. But they have future vision, which is just like a Find My Steven. So
I love the way you said that, because it's like, we have a Hulk.
Yeah. We have a Hulk.
I love this sequence because like there's no one talking, and there's just the Love Like You song playing in the background. Steven is like, he's basically passed out from exhaustion and maybe oxygen deprivation. Again, it's unclear.
Still
but the gems
a banger of a song, by the way.
They're all happy to see him. Amethyst and Pearl are crying so much, and then they're all happy. They're crying tears of happiness, and they're all together, and they're all hugging.
But
And they're
then
flying
it
back home.
and then it ends on a sad note though, because he's like asking about like if his mom really had to do those actions of like who did she kill? Pink Diamond?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? So he's like, did mom really have to do that? So I think he's like I don't know if there's ever been another moment before this, but I feel like he's starting to kind of have the realization that, oh, maybe my mother isn't who I thought she was. And
Yeah, this is definitely where it's like I think when we first heard about the Pink Diamond thing, it's like, huh? Character complexity for our dead mom? What?
Yeah, literally.
What's going on there? And again, it's so interesting. Like, do we think that, I mean, knowing the whole history of the show, yeah, Rose didn't kill Pink because she was Pink. But do we think that Pink/Rose could have killed another gem?
Well, the way the gems talk about it, they're like, she always did things for the benefit of the planet. So
the greater
hey,
good.
Your mom killed someone.
Right? I'm just like, could she have killed Yellow or Blue to save Earth? I don't know.
Maybe not. Who's to say?
I mean, the way they talk about her at the end of this episode, it's like maybe yes? Question mark.
Maybe, but you know, that's not necessarily the question, but it's something I would like to pose to all the listeners. So, what do y'all think? Hey, Robert.
Hey, Charlie.
You want to go to the Crystal Temple?
For some Crystal Temple trivia.
This episode's name was revealed in the episode listing on the Cartoon Network website.
I feel like at this point it should be a fucking free space to say that.
Yes.
This is the second episode to have an outer space backdrop for the title card, the first one being Jailbreak.
Zach Callison, Lo Mutuk, and Estelle were the only three voices in this episode, accompanied by Rebecca Sugar's song Love Like You.
Oh, I didn't know that was their name. Eyeball says to Steven, Eyeball says to Steven, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 4 times, you already fooled me, and you can't fool me again. This is a corruption of a common saying, see cultural references. The 4 times she refers to this in the line are, in Hit the Diamond, when Crystal Gem Ruby disguised herself as one of the Homeworld Rubies, in the same episode when she and Homeworld Rubies were fooled into playing baseball. Also in that same episode when she and Homeworld Rubies are told that Jasper's on Neptune. And in Back to the Moon, when Amethyst disguises herself as Jasper and pretends to hold the crystal gems hostage.
This episode revealed that at the same time a gem can have a different weapon, with Eyeball summoning a chisel knife. That's what it's called, the chisel knife. I was like, it's a specific kind of blade, but a knife's a knife no matter how knife.
According to Eyeball's statements, it is possible that Rose was the only existing gem with healing powers.
This is the first episode where the song Love Like You plays during the actual episode.
Love Like You. According to Oh, and now it's time for cultural references. The phrase "fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me" is a common expression used by people who have been duped by someone in the past and signifies a resolution to not fall for that someone's tricks in the future. Eyeball bungles the phrase, however, as seen above. The corruption of the phrase is likely referential to a gaffe in a speech made by former U.S. President George W. Bush on September 17, 2002, wherein he said, "There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, 'Fool me once, shame on you.' Shame on you. Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, you can't get fooled again."
What?
This
I
is
need to
such
say
an
that-
odd, specific, cultural reference.
I need to say that seeing the words George W. Bush and September next to each other, I'm like,
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Move on.
The episode exhibits some similarities to Robert Stephen Lewis's novel Treasure Island. In both, the protagonist is stranded alongside an antagonist who later attempts to kill him. Eyeball acts as much... Oh my god, I can't read. Eyeball Eyeball acts much like Israel Hands, attacking Stephen with a knife and at one point biting down on it. She also lacks one eye, much like how pirates are often depicted in popular culture. Eyeball being flung from the bubble into space may also be a reference to the novel's Disney film adaptation Treasure Planet, in which Scroop, who is based on the character of Hands, is also tossed into the vacuum of space.
Stephen's curling into a shrunken bubble alone is similar to the character Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion, where he is sealed inside his entry plug alone.
The Love Like You segment is reminiscent of the Calm Super Todd sequence from the end of Evangelion.
The opening of the episode is very similar to a clip from the 2013 film Gravity. See,
There you go!
yes, woo!
Indication.
Stephen getting rescued aboard the roaming eye may be a reference to Tom Paris and Belana Torres getting rescued aboard the USS Voyager from the Star Trek Voyager episode Day of Honor. I've never seen a lot of Star Trek, so
I'm a Star Wars girly. I have never watched any Star Trek.
My sci-fi is Doctor Who.
And now for Charlie's favorite section.
Continuity.
This episode takes place where the previous episode, Back to the Moon, left off.
Rose Quartz's identity as Pink Diamond that was revealed in a single pale rose was hinted at during the scene where Eyeball states that Stephen's gem has more of a pinkish red tint rather than the usual reddish pink that the rose quartzes normally had.
It's revealed what would happen to Stephen if his gem were removed in Change Your Mind. I did forget that he said that in this episode too. Like, you're gonna take my gem? What would happen to me? Well, we know now.
And now for Pearl Points. These are the last Pearl Points. I forgot to do this at the end of season 2, so I'm going to do this for season 2 and 3.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna list out how many times each one has been chosen because I definitely forgot to do that part, but I will at least list out everything we've given our Pearl Point to. So friends, who are we giving our final Pearl Point to season 3 to?
I'm not gonna lie. I want to give it to the O rock. The O asteroid.
I'm giving it to Doc. R.I.P. Doc, just floating out in the middle of space. Didn't do nothing wrong.
I'm going to give it to the bubble because apparently this thing has its own HVAC system and gravity.
I think I'll
Gravitational
try
pull.
defying gravity.
Robert,
And
I must
now-
warn you, I do not have all of the Pearl Points on the dock.
Well,
So,
you're lame. That's what we're going to say about that.
wow, rude.
Okay, so then you know what? I'll do this instead at the beginning of season 4.
All right, I'll catch up. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
you'll catch up, and then I'll actually list the amount, the number, and we'll go from there. And now for the question. What was your question again that you posed earlier, Charlie? I liked it.
I was
Not,
like,
not
did
enough
we
to remember
think-
it, but I liked it.
I don't know. I mean, usually we do questions that are for us, and this is more of like a theory question. Like, do you think that Rose/Pink could have actually shattered somebody? Because, I mean, what we know from the show is that she did not want that to happen. But again, we were not in her perspective when we heard about that. So we don't know if there's a chance that she could have been drawn to that point at any point. So I don't know. It's more of a theory than like, hey, are y'all terrified of the vacuum of space? Because I fucking am, which is why I was like, Josh needs to be on for this. Because this is horror to me, specifically. Being in the vacuum of space with someone who absolutely wants to kill you. In any other medium besides Steven Universe, this is a horror movie. This is Alien.
I mean, yeah, literally
100%.
Alien, and there's a Cloverfield sequel. It's escaping my mind right now, but there's one where they're like in space, and there's time travel / alternate universes involved ? But it's like just anything set in space is crazy. There's also a really good Netflix series if you like horror themed like sci-fi space shit. There's a Korean show called The Silent Sea that is really good. That's on Netflix. But again, it's all set in space, and at any point you could just, eject yourself like Steven did from a spaceship, or whatever monster is after you could smash something and you fall out the window. That's just great.
So great.
Josh, thank you for joining us for our season finale.
My
so much.
pleasure. I love coming on here. So
You're like, what?
I'm so glad you
Oh,
love
wait,
coming on
whoa.
here, Josh. Talk about getting heated with this rivalry.
Well, I just have to say, on the Steven Universe wiki page, there are two different ads. The first one on the top of the page was for Heated Rivalry. As I scrolled down, there was one for the NHL. So both on HBO Max, by the way.
Why did my brain think you were going to get like porn ads or something? And I was like, it's because you clicked that you were an adult on the wiki.
Yep.
Because it does always ask if you're an adult or if you're a child.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably why you got Heated Rivalry.
I mean, yes, but also like all of my algorithm is solely Connor and Hudson, the actors, and the Golden Globes. So
with Hudson fucking flipping people off, it's great.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
The first person in the history of the Golden Globes to have his photos have to be censored because he's flipping people off.
Oh my god. And the fact that no one has ever thought of that, please no one give Hudson Williams, that's his last name, right? I think Williams.
Hudson Williams.
Please no one give Hudson Williams media training. I need unhinged interviews with Gail.
Josh, would you like to join? We have a Heated Rivalry server. Would you like to join it?
I mean, sure. I will gladly talk about both of these men.
I will send you an invite then. All right.
I was immediately sent that when I said that I was watching it by Laura. And I was like, oh my god.
But with all that being said, Charlie, thank you for making a podcast with me.
Robert, thank you for making a podcast with me. And don't forget, fuck fascism.
Fuck fascism. And we are going to take a break now for a couple of weeks because we have finished the season. We will be back in your ears a little bit into February. Goodbye, friends.
That's the hope. February. I have to move. So
Charlie has to move, but everyone say goodbye. We're done. Season 3. Woo!
Bye.
Every podcast was perfect.
We wouldn't have the bits. Bye-bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at the Bits SU Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our dime line through thebitsSUpod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/thebitsu. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about Steven Universe, or whatever else. Our $5 patrons here also gets you access to Steven's Room, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with Steven in some way. No promises.
You can check out our merch store, The Bits SU, on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie, me. Or if you cannot do that or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. It really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with Ray called Of the Eldest Gods, where we talk about the mythology book series by Rick Riordan, starting with Percy Jackson. I also co-host a podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine. where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme page on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. If you want to hear more from me, check out my YouTube channel, also called the Damn Meme page, where I make videos mainly about Percy Jackson, but also sometimes other fun stuff. If you want to find me elsewhere in the podcast verse, you can also tune into my podcast, The Pit Crew, a show dedicated to dissecting the HBO Max medical drama, The Pit. The Pit is proud to be part of Day 6 Media, which features great podcasts like Super Scary, a love letter to superheroes, sci-fi, and horror movies hosted by Josh.
Do you love to be super scared? Do you enjoy listening to hilarious hot takes on timeless classics? Well, fear not, listeners. I'm here. Welcome to the Super Scary Podcast, where we cover everything from the supernatural to the superpowered. I'm your host, Josh, a scaredy cat nerd who enjoys superhero, sci-fi, and horror movies way too much. Whether I'm processing my trauma from Texas Chainsaw Massacre or reminiscing on the nostalgia of Hocus Pocus, my guests and I have a hilarious time going through our favorite and sometimes not so favorite moments. I'm your friend till the end, listeners, because everyone's entitled to one super scary podcast. We post weekly episodes on Mondays, and you can find us at Super Scary Podcast on all the socials. See you in the afterlife, listeners.
Dave X Media.